The good news. My intention for this book is to change your life. A dramatic statement that almost certainly is hugely overused and casually thrown out by authors without any real consideration to whether the material that they're talking about has any power to live up to that grand claim. Life-changing has become just another sales statement in most cases. But I believe that the essential concept of this book carries the ultimate paradigm shift to alter every aspect of your life on Earth. I have hinted and tiptoed around the issue until this point, because if I'd gone ahead and blurted out the central concept of this series of books at the very beginning, you would have pigeonholed me as an eccentric British nutjob. Who knows? Perhaps that is exactly what I am. The only evidence that I can offer the skeptics is what I'm telling you about in this book has dramatically changed my life for the better. The principles of manifestation I followed, and are now sharing with you, took me from being an alcoholic, broken shambles of a man to a deeply happy and content man living with his soulmate in an environment of pure abundance. Stop beating about the bush, Craig, I hear you cry. Earlier, I told you that we are all a fragment of God. If you imagine an infinite sheet of ice that exploded into 7 billion pieces, and in every one of us is embedded a sliver of this divine material. If you were open-minded enough to swallow that incomprehensible morsel, I now want to take the idea further. You see, this concept is a bit of an illusion. It's a dilution of the truth to help more people accept a tricky and somewhat counterintuitive concept. By stating that you have a fragment of God inside you, implies that there are parts of you that are not divine, parts of you that are disconnected from Source. The fragment concept is only a sleight of hand, really. It is ultimately flawed as a principle because it takes us straight back to the illusion of separation that we talked about earlier. Despite the variety of senses, sights, sounds, and experiences here on Earth, everything is just another expression of God. You are God, and so am I. Let me say that again, because that one sentence changes everything. You are God, and so am I. So is your partner, so are your children, and so is everything else you see around you. Not many can instantly accept this concept. And if you're currently raising a suspicious eyebrow in my direction, just pause your quizzical mind for a moment and consider what would happen to racism, vanity, and jealousy if we all knew for certain that we are, in fact, God. Nobody on Earth could be any better or worse than you. We are all the same. Being jealous of another person is a pointless waste of time. It makes no more sense than your right foot being envious of your left foot. Whoa there, Craig. I'm not God. God is the big man upstairs, some may object. I want you to disregard any image you may have already created to represent God in your mind. To help you do that, I'm going to ask you to consider one of the most extreme theories of who or what God is. I neither agree nor disagree with the conclusion I'm about to describe, but I do find it fascinating to consider the sheer enormity of scale that this scenario suggests. Start with the premise that our universe is virtually identical to the composition of an atom. The sun is positioned at the center as its nucleus, and the planets rotate around it, just as electrons do in the smallest element known to man. How big is an atom? Well, if I tell you that a single grain of sand has around 500 sextillion atoms, then it will give you an idea of just how small a thing that we're talking about. From our subjective point of view, being a tiny human being with an extremely large ego, we consider ourselves to be pretty damn important. We also look out at the night sky and declare that we live in a truly vast universe. But do we? Do we really? What if planet Earth, the Sun, Mars, Venus, and the Milky Way are all just one single atom embedded in the real universe?